time for this or that.
Yep.
The bigger red flag in Boston. The Celtics raised the Warriors rim too high, or Patriots players alarmed about offensive coaching staff?
Okay. So here's the deal on that. I think that people are kind of underplaying the rims being too high in Boston.
I'm definitely one of them because, like, it is wild because
Here's why it's wild. I have heard that's a thing they do on purpose.
So, like, when it's game time,
I don't know.
Hold on, they leave it like that. They wouldn't leave it like that.
No, not for the game. No,
during
because
the shoot around.
Yeah, throw them off, cut into their shoot around time. I don't want to. We had a guest on the TV show. Don't tweet this out, by the way. This is just for the people who are actually watching or listening to the podcast. I don't need this to be clipped socially. But we had a guest on the TV show years ago say that happens at TD Garden a lot, that they screw with it a bit. Now, it's always fixed by game time, but that's a little home court advantage, if you will.
100%.
Do I think that impacted the game? No. Do I think, though, it's a little Bush League? And do I think it kind of goes in line with the Patriots, like the headsets cutting out and these different added advantages?
The headsets cutting out
in Boston.
Batman?
With the Patriots, you know, your coach, your coordinator, and your quarterback are all supposed to be able to hear each other. And the rule is if one team's communication system goes down, neither team can use it. And for a long time, people that were playing in New England would say, in critical moments on third down, the communication system would go out for a play and then come back. So that way they didn't have to shut it down for both sides, but just oddly enough in our biggest
We've got to get to the Patriots' scandalous ways.
I mean, it was just massive cheating.
Wild.
Just cheating for two decades. Wild. And so do I think it's possible? You know, they cheated. I think Boston's, baseball manager was part of the Astros cheating scandal. I don't know anything about the Bruins, but the Celtics were raising rims too high. Something's a little fishy, is all I'm going to say there. That, to me, is a bigger story than the Patriots. Of course, the Patriots are alarmed about their offensive coaching staff. It's Joe Judge and Matt Patricia. Who the hell wouldn't be alarmed? All right, what's next?
Which one is a future Nick? Zion or Spida?
So Zion or Donovan Mitchell?
Sorry.
No, you're fine. I'm going to say, if I had to bet, I would say neither. But if it's one of the two, Donovan Mitchell. I also think Donovan Mitchell is not the player a lot of people make him out to be. Donovan Mitchell is an excellent scorer, a total non-factor, or not even non-factor, that's too good, negative factor on defense. If Donovan Mitchell is your best player, you are absolutely drawing dead to win the title. If he's your second best player, you need a perfect team around him to win the title and a great number one. I would not trade RJ Barrett my whole future for Donovan Mitchell. I wouldn't do it, but I don't think Zion's going anywhere anytime soon. All right, what's next?
Okay. Saquon Barkley says he's got his swagger back. Which top two pick in the 2018 NBA draft or NFL draft?
Go ahead.
Has a better season? Saquon or Baker?
There you go. You got it together at the end. Baker. I don't trust the Giants' infrastructure. I don't trust the Giants' offensive line. I unfortunately don't know how much I trust Saquon at this point post all the injuries. And I think there's a sneaky chance Baker plays for the Browns this year.
Yeah, no.
I think Deshaun might be suspended for the whole year.
Yeah, dude put his Twitter on private? Like he doesn't have like millions of followers.
Who did? Deshaun Watson? Oh, I didn't see that. I didn't know he did that. Listen, we have, and let me just say something to the audience here. We have intentionally not talked a lot about the Deshaun Watson story here. The reason for that is, little pull the curtain back moment. I find the Deshaun Watson story to be so disturbing, and I think it's so clear and obvious he doesn't have a 24+ person conspiracy working against him. I think in my belief, he so clearly has done much of what he's accused of doing that I don't think there is a good way to discuss that and then be like, now let's play a game.
Right.
And so I you can say that's a bad job by me journalistically. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But we try to, as often as we can, keep this podcast light and fun. It's not what I would call hardcore sports journalism. And so it is impossible for me to talk about the Deshaun thing without going down some really dark paths. But as I've said before, and I'll say again, my general burden of proof is if you have more than 2 totally unrelated parties accusing you of something similar, I tend to believe them. If you have more than 24 unrelated parties accusing you of something, I absolutely believe them. The latest allegations against Deshaun are as disturbing as any. And so I think the NFL might suspend him for the year. If they do, then I think Baker's going to have to play. And I think he might just end up playing in Cleveland. So there's the quick answer there. Hey, thanks for watching. Hit the subscribe button to get more from the show, and make sure to click the bell to get notified every time new content drops. Check out full episodes of What's Right wherever you get your podcasts, or just click the link in the description below.